The Jonathan Weir Show.
I mean, is it left or is it right?
I'm independent.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
I'm independent.
Happy Monday to all 11 of you. It's the Jonathan Weir Show here on KMBC. We got Will Sterrett joining us tonight because Rod Babcock is... He's
out.
in bad shape.
Why
are you laughing?
I'm laughing at how out Rod is. Rod spent the weekend in the hospital with three bulging discs in his back.
I feel like this is a HIPAA violation. You know?
He doesn't care.
Okay.
3 bulging discs in his back. And I talked to him. Rebecca, you and I both talked to him. And he was like, I'll be back Tuesday.
Like, yeah, no. That's not a good idea.
You just gained the ability to walk again this morning. You're not coming back on Tuesday. He's like, I'll be there.
And walking with pain.
Yeah. Now's not the time to discover your work ethic, buddy. Stay home and recuperate. You'll be fine. We'll be fine without you.
I mean, I understand that this is not the most laborious job. You're not digging the proverbial ditch, but...
You're still hunched over a board.
Exactly.
Hey, man, I'm really worn out, okay? Come on.
Exactly.
Sam Stevie's filling in for him on the board, and because it takes 2 people to fill in for Rod. It's a proven fact. So it's Monday. Let's start off with something horrifying. This woman on Long Island, she was visiting her parents' burial plot. Both parents dead in the ground at this burial plot. And she looks down at the tombstone, sees there's a wreath on there, and there's this bow. It's a little cockeyed. You're like, better fix that. She bends over to adjust the bow, and then all of a sudden, a sinkhole formed and started to suck her into the earth.
Oh, my gosh.
The earth began to swallow her into her parents' graves.
So she's standing on top of the
maybe
actual...
to the side, but regardless, close enough.
Oh.
No, Mom and Dad, you can't take me with you!
Was she an only child?
Well, she wasn't about to be alone though. I mean, she was be with Mom and Dad.
Does it
6
say
feet under?
Does it say how far down she got?
She got hip deep.
Ooh.
Into the ground, and she fell forward. She would have gone deeper, but she lurched forward in order not to get sucked in further, and smashed her face against her parents' tombstone.
Oh no!
She blasted a tooth out of her mouth. She's bleeding and crying. She tried to bounce back, and she just sank further.
Right.
She's screaming.
It's like quicksand at this point.
Yeah, she's screaming and screaming. Nobody can hear her in this entire cemetery.
Because there's no one there.
Because there's nobody there. She stayed there for an hour.
You have to wait for
somebody found her.
I'm impressed it was only an hour. Usually you have to wait till nightfall when all the teenagers decide to come out and do their satanic rituals.
Could you imagine how scared they would be to walk up on this woman half out of the
right? I was just thinking it's terrifying for her, but just think if somebody found her, they'd be like, the dead are coming back!
Screaming
Especially
halfway
because
into
she
this
bashed
grave.
her face and it was bleeding from the mouth.
They grab a shovel, start hitting her over the head. Get back in there!
Because honestly, you can't tell if somebody's coming out or falling into the earth, which makes more sense. Somebody being sucked into the earth or somebody crawling out of it.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I feel bad for her, but wow.
She claims it left her an emotional wreck, which I don't
dispute that. Yeah.
She said, I will never go back there again. Her attorney is speaking on her behalf, said they're suing for $5 million, suing the cemetery for $5 million. She said she's had nightmares and headaches.
$5 million?
I think it's warranted.
No.
I don't know.
Was it their fault, though?
I know that she's suing high so that she can settle low. I get it. But really...
I think it's worth it.
What kind of a life did her parents live that they were literally being sucked to the core?
That's what's happening. Like the earth was actually pulling your parents down even further.
Right.
What happened was, allegedly, grave diggers backfilled a grave adjacent to her parents.
So next to it.
And that left an underground void that caused her to sink. And this is the way the New York Post describes it. This is their writing. This isn't me embellishing.
Now, granted, it's the Post, which is known for its ridiculously, but
wait, is it the Post? Hold on. Let me make
it
sure.
is. I'm pretty sure it's the Post.
Yeah. This is the way they say it. It left an underground void that caused Cullen to sink into the netherworld.
Wow.
Oh.
I like it.
So,
Yeah, it's their fault.
if you think you had a bad weekend, I'm just saying, not as bad as this woman's. Here's the thing. She says, I will never go back to that cemetery again. And maybe I'm alone in this. I don't go to cemeteries. I know there's people who do. We're going to go visit grandma. We're going to go put flowers on dad's grave. I ain't going. I'm not doing it. I don't go to cemeteries other than I will go for the funeral.
Yeah.
When they put you in,
You're never
and
coming
I'm never
back.
coming back. Am I alone in this? Am I the only one who will not go to cemeteries? I find them to be incredibly morbid and grotesque. I don't think that there's anything beautiful or great about putting a dead body in the ground, putting a tombstone above where they are, 6 feet above it, and then going, oh, this is where their body is. Let's go celebrate their life. I don't understand the point of it, and it creeps me out.
No, that's another thing we have in common.
You won't go to cemeteries.
Nope, and not because I'm creeped out. I just don't see the point.
I agree. Yeah.
I think the whole purpose is so that you have, whenever you finally do depart this earthly coil, you do have at least some marker that indicates that you were here and where your remains are.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you...
But it has to be public? I mean, I there's lots of people who, when they die, they get cremated and the urn is in their children's house.
I understand
that's fine?
No, I understand that. But 100 years from now, there's no record of that person because, let's face it, the urn has been thrown out or something of that sort. The death notification that ran in the newspaper is in a microfiche at the library that nobody looks at. There is no physical...
That's a fascinating
No,
question.
there's
no
social media.
physical aspect of it.
We now have, social media to record everything. But hold on, that's a fascinating point. At some point, somebody's going to get that urn and go, I don't want this.
Wait, who was this again?
Who is this again? Why would I want great grandma?
I'm sorry, you get beyond 2 generations.
Yeah, I don't know who this person is.
That thing's getting
nothing
thrown out
anymore. So what you're saying is the point of a cemetery is to have the public record that this person did indeed exist.
It is,
and they died on this date. They were born on this date.
It's not so much to have a matter of public record. Obviously, that is nice, but it is to have some piece of you remaining on this earth after you have departed. Even if that means
you're 6 feet under being chewed by worms.
Well, but even if that means having your remains cremated and then the remains buried,
right,
with a headstone there.
Yeah.
I mean, the point is that there is still a piece of you here.
I didn't expect. This is actually an interesting aspect of it that I never thought of. Everybody just wants to be famous. So the whole point of a burial plot is so that strangers still have to recognize your existence even when you cease to exist.
Well, not everybody can have their birthday on celebrity birthdays.
Not everybody's as famous as me. I get that. Mm-hmm. By the way, number 46,782. I went up 5 places. Yes,
making headway.
Not that I check all the time, but I did go up 5 places over the weekend. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. Maybe 5 people died.
Yeah.
That's probably more likely. I think it's time we stop burials. I think
just all together?
Burials. I don't think they should be legal. Cemeteries are a waste of space.
You don't think they should be legal?
Yeah, I think they're a waste of space. I think that they're...
we have no shortage of space, mind you.
Yes, and no. In the middle of a city, there's plenty...
In the middle of a city, okay,
yes,
I'll
there's
agree
plenty
with
of
that.
good land in the middle of a city that goes to cemeteries that is totally pointless. It's just so we can say, well, Grandma was there. I mean, they're already there. I'm just saying don't build new ones.
No new cemeteries inside city limits.
No new ones, no.
You're never going to get me on board with this.
They just start. The reason we have burials is because Neanderthals didn't want wolves to eat grandma, so they buried her underground so the wolves couldn't eat her.
But that doesn't mean that we don't still have a legitimate reason for doing so. Even if the reason.
The fame aspect of the
even if
people who are dead.
Look, even if the reason has shifted, there's still a legitimate reason for it. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think the reason is legitimate.
Okay.
Is there a legitimate reason for buying a multi-$1,000
Casket?
box?
It ultimately has to do with the last wishes of the person involved.
All right, hold on. I feel like we're
and the
ganging,
wishes of their family.
I feel bad because I feel like we're ganging up on Will. So 576-7798.
Please, I can take it.
I know,
This
but
is amateur hour.
I feel like we're ganging up on you. So 576-7798. Is there a point to burials? Is this a discussion that you've had? Is this a debate that you've had? Do you think that it's important that we bury people still, or should we just get rid of it? Should we move past it? Because I think, honestly, as a society, we've reached that point. We can burn people a lot more effectively than we can bury them. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, my God.
From the text line, we need to keep cemeteries. People are just dying to get in there.
Blah. On that note.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
576-7798. Call in if you can defend burials. Why we still do them, why there's still a good reason. Try to convince me or Rebecca or Sam even why they're still a good idea. 576-7798. We'll take your calls coming up in just 5 minutes here on 98.1.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
All right, we're talking about, because it's Monday and I wanted to start off light. Let's
talk about death.
Talking about death, baby. And whether burials are outdated or not, whether we need to still have them. I think that we as a society should have moved on from this and just gone with cremation. Rebecca agrees. Sam Stevie, who's filling in for Rod, agrees. And Will Sterrett, who's joining us today,
I'm the contrarian.
is the lone dissenter.
Yeah.
Saying, no, we should have a spot so that people can go to that spot and go, I miss you. You are kind of in this spot.
It doesn't matter what it is that brings them there. If they want to go there, there should be that opportunity. Whether it's because I'm intrigued by you. I mean, why do people visit famous people's graves, after all? Whether it's I'm intrigued by you, or I miss you, or I hate you and I want to pee on your headstone, whatever the case may be.
Or to pour out half of your 40 for your home.
Exactly.
Right.
Or in my case, my Diet Dr. Pepper. But there's other things about it, too.
If I die before any of you, which the only one I think that's accurate of is Rebecca and Sam. If I die before you, you need to pour out half of a Diet Dr. Pepper on my grave.
Okay.
Has to happen.
All right.
Has to happen.
Can I just pour it on your head now and get it over with? Because I'm probably not going to outlive you.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
How about the last time we ever do anything together, which
When
who
you
knows?
kn- when do you know-
that'll be? Who knows?
Right. When do you know
knows?
when the last time is?
All right, let's go to the phones. I'm sorry, everybody. We're being silly. Let's go to Matt in Riverside. Matt, you say you know of a great way to get buried?
Well, there was a famous author by the name of Edward Abbey, and his dying request was disregard all laws and regulations, zip me up in an old sleeping bag, throw me in the bed of the tip pickup truck, take me out to the desert, and give me a spot with a view where I can feed a sagebrush or a cactus. And his father-in-law, his brother-in-law, and two of his buddies did just that. They broke into the funeral parlor, took his body, stuffed it in a sleeping bag with some dry ice, stacked some cases of beer around him, and it was a 2 or 3 day expedition. To this day, the only people who know where he rests are his family and his very close friends.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere out in the Southwest, Arizona somewhere.
No, you know what? I just thought of, Matt, that is not only that, because it's a cool story, but that is a really great reason to get buried, so that you can say, by the way, there's $150,000 worth of gold
Scavenger hunt!
in my coffin with me,
Well,
and the clues are, and then you die. You do the video and you die right before, and then they have to...
But it's kind of the best of both worlds, you know. Your family and friends have a place to visit if they wish, but you're not taking up any land. No one's going to know you're there.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere,
You're doing good. You're not in a coffin. That's going to keep all that nutrients and good soil that you're going to create from
Depriving the
plants, you're just
warms,
out there.
right? That's,
Okay.
That's good. That's a good point, Matt in Riverside. Thank you. You ever hear? Speaking of authors who had fun deaths, did you ever hear of Hunter S. Thompson? You know who that is?
I know who that is. Yeah,
great author.
I don't think I've ever heard about his death.
He was the subject of the movie Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. Great movie. Johnny Depp actually paid for this. When Hunter S. Thompson died, he wanted his ashes to be shot out of a cannon. And we know that Johnny Depp paid for it because it was in his whole, like, hey, Johnny Depp is bad with money thing, where his financial people were like, yeah, he's really bad with money. He spent $500,000 on this cannon for Hunter S. Thompson. And that was the one thing where I was like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
I got one I'll share with you off air.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it dirty?
No.
Oh.
Hey, from the text line?
Yes.
Hey, what if Rod randomly tunes in right now and thinks we're already planning for his death?
Then he would,
What do you mean, what if?
Then he would be accurate.
This is a planning session with the names removed.
Let's go to Liam in Liberty. Liam, what do you have to say about this?
About what?
Okay.
All over the place.
I'm pretty sure we've been consistent. We've been talking about burials versus cremation. Do you think burials are outdated or not?
Burials are outdated. I used to be a goth kid.
Uh-huh.
So I hung out and...
The name like Liam, you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, no, cremation. It's a lot cheaper. It takes up less space. But the point 3 is, I kind of skipped over 2 parts. Anyway, the green burial.
Yeah, where they just drag your body out to the woods and let the coyotes have at it?
Oh, no. I mean,
Oh, come on. That's what's going to happen.
Word it like that. No, I'm talking about it. If you bury something under a tree and plant a seed, it will cause its fertilization.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the green burials are, maybe I'm wrong, but my understanding was green burials are always, they just drag you out to the woods and leave you there.
I don't believe you can do. I don't believe you could do that legally.
No, there's an area zoned for it.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is where we drag the dead bodies.
Yeah.
Beyond this sign, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a haunted forest? This is it.
This is, dead trees growing right through your spine.
Yep.
All right, so Liam, you're for burials, but modified.
Modified, yes.
Modified.
I agree completely with you on the exhaustion of space.
Yes, it is worthless. Just so we can remember where Grandma's body is. In case one day you forget. Or one day you want to make sure she's dead.
Okay.
You want to make sure. Let's get one last call on this. Let's go to Cody and Lawrence. Hey, Cody.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Why do you think people should be buried instead of cremated?
Well, I'm giving a non-dogmatic yes to burial because, so you mentioned Neanderthals. I got another possible or more likely explanation in my eyes. It's actually the Christian tradition. So, traditionally, Christian mindset, there's like this resurrection when Jesus comes back.
Right.
And so actually in the Western world, we have such a tradition of burial because people like to symbolically preserve the body and wait for that.
Okay, well,
which is also the reason why the graves face east. So that when the Lord is returning, you get to see him first thing.
Then why do we put the people 6 feet under? If they'd have done that to they just put a big stone in his way.
Well, but I mean, we have the modified version of that. It's called a mausoleum.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. All right, Cody. Point made.
The other factor too is we got to keep in mind with like with the progress that's been made in forensic science and whatnot. There's a lot of evidence that can come out of this sort of thing.
So you're saying when somebody dies, if their family insists on cremation, chances are they did it.
That's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm just saying 1 in 3 Forensic Files episodes involves exhumation.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
And 2 out of 3 Forensic Files episodes involve luminol.
It's luminol.
That's that thing that will show where there's blood, even if it's been cleaned up. That solution they spray on stuff.
Coming up on the Jonathan Weir Show, we're going to change the subject to something a lot more fun, like, I don't know, anything else. Anything. We'll be back in 8 minutes.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
Yeah. All right. Rebecca Crockett, you were telling me earlier about this really horrible thing that happened to you over the weekend. And
Yeah.
as you were telling it to me, I was getting angrier and angrier. Not with you for once, but with the person in the story who was harassing you. And I thought, let's talk about it on air. Maybe, not call the person out specifically.
Yeah, because I don't know specifically who this
Who it
person
is,
was.
but maybe give the deets on their car and what they look like, and maybe one of the 11 knows them and will beat the crap out of them.
That sounds
for
great.
us. All right?
Okay, so on Saturday, I was driving down to Union Station, and right before the exit that you get off on to go to Union Station, I think it's like Pershing Road or something like
Yes,
that.
I think so.
Anyway, this red Ford pickup truck comes flying up behind me and like comes around and stops like right in front of me. Not like a dead stop, but like brake checks me. Now, my husband's driving at the time, and he's a slow driver, so normally I can understand when people rage against him. And I said, well,
I love that. Hold on, stop. I love that you are in the car with your husband. People are brake checking and flipping him off, and you're like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
No, I get it. No, he sucks.
Yeah,
he's
when
the worst.
he's in the fast lane, I'm checking the mirrors, and I'm like, somebody's coming behind you. You have to get over. You have to get over. You're not going fast enough to be in this lane. Anyway.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Would you road rage your husband?
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh. I would be riding up on his bumper. Yeah, that stuff bothers me. Anyway.
Yeah, you would.
Okay, so he was not doing any of that stuff. He was in the middle lane, and he was going with the speed of traffic because I had told him earlier, how fast are you going? You need to go a little bit faster. And he said, I'm going the speed limit. And I was like, yeah, at least go 5 over.
Right.
So he picked up the speed a little bit. So there was nothing for this guy to be irritated with him.
Plus, this is on Pershing. It's not on the highway.
Well, we were still in the interstate at the time.
okay.
We hadn't gotten off yet.
Oh,
that
okay.
was the goal. So he gets next to us, and we're probably a mile away from needing to merge. And he speeds up with us. He slows down. Like, he's next to us the entire time. And my husband's like, this guy's messing with me. And I'm like, are you sure? He gets in front of like another vehicle and like brake checks them. And then he gets like back over next to us. And I'm like, okay, maybe he is. But I'm not really worried about it until we go to get off the exit. And we try to get over to get off the exit, and he won't let us over.
Oh my God.
Like, when we speed up, I mean, we slowed down to almost 20 miles an hour on the interstate, and he slowed down with us and wouldn't let us over. Then he gets over to the far right lane. So we try to get over, and he tries to ram my Jeep. You don't touch my Jeep. That made
tried
me
to
mad.
hit it? Like,
yes,
he
he rammed it, and
sideswiped
then
you?
we had to swerve, and we almost hit vehicles in the lane next to us. And we tried to get over like 2 more times. He did the same thing before he finally gave up and drove on, and we got over and got off, and sheesh.
So that last part, he was like swerving at you, like
Yes,
trying
he
to
was
hit you?
like he was going to hit us. And so I'm staring at him, like trying to get him to make eye contact with me because I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
And I want him to look at me because if he saw me, he'd know I was a nice person.
To strangers, yes.
Yeah, the guy looked like Edgar. You know, like the guy in the Edgar.
Yeah, from
the
Men
guy
in
in the
Black.
Edgar suit. Yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio. He looked like Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah,
the
he's
actor.
like staring straight ahead, like he would not look at me.
I've heard that guy does have rage problems. Maybe it was Vincent D'Onofrio.
He's wearing a construction vest,
Uh-huh.
and he's wearing those stupid white wraparound sunglasses, and you know what kind of person wears those sunglasses.
I don't know what kind of person.
Are you saying
wears
racist?
The really cool people.
No, not the really cool people.
jerks?
The same people that drive BMW, white BMWs.
I
But he
just
was
figured
driving
it
a
was-
red pickup truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just figured that was a bro thing.
Yeah, that's what she means, I think.
Yeah, the cool people.
Yeah.
No, they're not cool
I've
at
never
all.
known bros to drive BMWs. Bros,
Come on, bro.
Bros are trying to get a BMW. They're just not there yet.
No, I knew a bro who drove a BMW.
Really?
But he
What, 1987 BMW?
No, it was
Okay.
it was his BMW.
All right.
But he told me it was a Z3, and when I was like, "Wow, you have a Z3? That's awesome! It's like my dream car." He said, and I quote, "Yeah, it's used. It's my mom's car." I don't know how I didn't punch him. Anyway, back to Rebecca's story, though.
Yeah.
So you basically would have gotten run off the road if you had any road to get run off on,
Right.
because of this jackass.
Yeah, if we wouldn't have swerved, he would have hit us. And I didn't get his license plate or anything because I was like in
And even if
survival
you did,
mode.
the
I was
cops
like
aren't gonna do anything.
trying to survive, and I didn't want my Jeep to get
I mean, if that happened in
dented.
like Olathe or Overland Park, maybe they would do something, but not in Kansas City. They're like, yeah, we've got like a triple homicide to deal with. Sorry. And have you heard about this Tyreek Hill thing? We're really worried about it. It's not in our jurisdiction. It's in Overland Park, but we're not sure. I'm really trying hard to work on my road rage, but I don't think I have road rage when I hear like your description of what happened to you. I would never do that to somebody, no matter how much they piss me off. I have flipped people off without being obvious about it. I've honked at people if they're going slow, and I'm just like, come on, hurry up. But I would never like chase somebody or try to ram them. I don't understand that mentality. You're in a car. Your car will be damaged too, and it's a Jeep, so it's not like a Mini or a Fiat. It's not a smart car. It's a Jeep.
Right.
I don't get it. Like
I
can
don't
see
get it either.
What I'm saying is I can understand if he was trying to kill you, but I don't understand if he was just trying to maim you. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, I have a big truck, and I've literally driven down the grass next to a road because somebody, in their anger, decided that they wanted to be where my truck was. Now, I would have totally annihilated this car,
right?
But I like my truck,
but you let
so
it
I
go.
decided to go ahead and drive in the grass.
I've wound up in the grass because someone would come over without looking. And that was the only way to avoid a collision. If they went into my lane and they're not paying attention, I've wound up in the grass because of that, but never because of road rage. And you're talking to somebody who has rolled the window down and shoved his arm out to make that middle finger.
Yeah.
Oh, you better believe I have.
See, I probably would have, but if I'm driving on the highway, usually my wife's in the car, and if I did that, I think she would insist I pull over, and she drives now.
Mm-hmm.
See, I put a train horn on my truck because that really gets people's attention.
You really have a train horn on your truck?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm inspired. I need to get like a ship's foghorn for mine.
You both are just going to be escalating in horn sizes?
One of those horns that will like rattle the fillings out of your teeth as you drive by it.
I've heard
that's what I need.
Measuring contest, but this is totally
right.
Anyway,
and I'm going to put it in my POS called Black Thunder. I'm going to put it in that thing. Yes. Of course, then the bumper will probably fall off, but still.
Real quick, though. Have you ever, besides what happened to Rebecca, and obviously you have you ever been chased? Has anybody ever chased you in the car? And I don't mean like it's a total stranger. It's not like somebody you know. It's not like somebody who you owe money to or something like that. I'm just saying something happened and you're not sure what happened. And they're chasing you, like, the duel with Steven Spielberg. By Steven Spielberg.
I had a guy try to lure my dad and I into a parking lot to fight and then get back in his car and leave when he realized that we were both taller than 6 feet and not small people.
Why?
Yeah.
What happened?
We were getting off of, I think it was I-70 over in like Blue Springs area. And it was, rush hour traffic. Everybody was already heated because traffic was at a standstill. My dad drove a big truck at the time, switched lanes. Guy decided he wanted to be where my dad was, so my dad honked at him. The guy got out of his car in rush hour, took his seatbelt off, and was like flipping us off and yelling profanities at us and telling us to follow him to this parking lot. So my dad, being the smart aleck that he is, was like, okay, cool, let's go. Like, I'll follow him. And we go and we get out of the truck and we look at the guy, and the guy looks at us and gets back in his car and drives away.
The closest I've ever come to that was the crackhead that jumped up and down on my car, which I've told you about this story.
I don't remember.
Okay, so I pull up.
You would think that series of words would trigger a memory, but I don't remember.
Right. I pull up next to this guy at a restaurant. I get out of the car. My hand slips on the door, and it taps his mirror. Turns out this guy was just sitting in his car, but he gets out, is like furious, and is yelling at me, follows me inside of this restaurant, keeps yelling, and I tell him, I'm sorry, but all I did was tap your mirror. And he accuses me of having dented up the entire right side of his car. So, like...
He went all E-Honda on his car.
So he keeps yelling, and I don't engage him.
Yeah.
He leaves. Like 3 minutes later, someone comes over to my table and is like, just thought you should know. He jumped up and down on the hood of your car.
Oh my gosh!
And and like if you look at Black Thunder now, like the hood looks like a crushed pop can.
I've wondered about that.
Yeah, that's because of this crazy crackhead that jumped up and down on the hood of my car.
576-7798. Call in. We got a couple lines clear. Have you ever been chased Have you ever been chased in your car by a total stranger, kind of like Steven Spielberg's Duel? You don't know maybe what happened. Maybe you cut somebody off or whatever it was, but for some reason somebody is following you and chasing you. Happened to me one time. I was driving with Katie. I'd only been driving for like a month, and she's in the car with me, and we're talking, and I blew through a four-way stop. Oh. So I don't really I'm not the good guy in this necessarily, but I blew through a four-way stop. Just wasn't paying attention, drove right through it. And this semi-truck was waiting to go, saw me coming, started lurching ahead, but then obviously I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. And so then they stopped and slammed on the brakes. I guess they would have hit me if they'd pulled out a little bit further. And I realized what I did because I had to swerve to miss the semi-truck. And this guy started following me in a semi-truck. And he was chasing me. This was in Fairview Heights, Illinois, in kind of the retail area. All of Fairview Heights, Illinois is kind of a retail area, but it was in the Best Buy and Shoe Carnival parking lot. He chased me. I had a tiny Mitsubishi Colt, and he was chasing me around the Best Buy parking lot, and I'm like screaming, and Katie's like, "We're gonna die! We're gonna die!" We didn't.
How often, by the way, does Katie jump to "we're gonna die"?
Very rarely. She is the most stoic person you'll ever meet. Yes, so for her to reach to that, we were probably about to die.
It just seems like every story like this, it jumps to her yelling that you're gonna die.
Fortunately, I guess I had, the smallness of the vehicle was an advantage, and I was able to outmaneuver him and get out of the parking lot, and he wasn't able to get me. But yeah.
It was like Smokey and the Bandit.
It was terrifying.
Eastbound and down.
Jonathan
All right, coming up.
Show.
We're going to take your calls on this. Kayla in Kansas City was chased by somebody in a work vehicle, and Skylar was actually chased by the police?
No, followed to a police department.
Oh, followed to the police department. That's actually a smart move. We'll get both their calls coming up on the Jonathan Weir Show in just 4 minutes here on 98.1.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
All right, let's go to the phones. We're talking about road rage and people chasing you. Let's go to Skylar in Independence. Skylar, real quick, so you were followed to the police department by, was it somebody with road rage or was it just some crazy person?
So it wasn't road rage. I was at a gas station, and while I was checking out, the guy in line behind me, or in front of me rather, was, hollering at me, "Hey, baby, this and that." And I just ignored him because I don't entertain catcalling and stuff.
Hey, baby.
So I get in my car, and he's in the park next to me. He's parked in the car next to me. And so I leave, and I realize pretty quickly that he's right behind me. And so I just started driving right towards the police station. I'm not dumb enough to drive towards my house.
Yeah.
And I called when I got like a block away, I called the non-emergency line and let them know this guy's following me, and I'm about to pull in the parking lot, and I think he's dumb enough to follow me right to the police station. And so they had a couple cars right there at the entrance of the parking lot, and I pulled in, and he realized at that point that I was going to the police station, and he just pulled off, and they pulled him over, and I just, I went home after that. I saw that he wasn't following me anymore.
That is good, Skylar, and I'm glad we took your call, because that is textbook what you're supposed to do if somebody is following you. Go to the nearest police station. Yeah.
And if you don't know if they're following you, just do the whole 4 right turn thing to make a circle to see if, because obviously then they're following you.
Right.
That thing.
All right.
But yeah.
Skylar, thanks so much for your call. And Kayla, I'm sorry we didn't have time to get to you because we have a hard break here. So when we get back on the Jonathan Weir Show, we're going to be doing a segment we haven't done in a long time.
What is that?
Make Will laugh. We've done it with Rod, but he's not here. And if he could laugh, it would just injure him. Make Will laugh. Coming up in 5 minutes.
This evening, let's get started.
Just press play.
What is this show?
I don't know.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
I mean, is it left or is it right?
I'm independent.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
I'm independent.
All right. Second hour of the Jonathan Weir Show. And we got Will Sterrett joining us tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Will.
Glad to be here.
I got Rebecca Crockett as always. I also got Sam Stevie in the other room running the board. And we're going to do a segment tonight that we've done. We usually do like once a month with Rod, but Rod will not be here for the next, I would say, at least week. That man
I hope he waits a week.
has 3 bulging discs in his back and was not able to walk without pain, for the weekend. And was like, I'll be back on Tuesday. Nobody thinks you're being back. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. You're not. Don't try to be tough. Now's not the time. So because Rod's not here, and I still like this segment, we're going to have Will Sterrett.
Okay.
Be the center focus of this, as you used to be, actually. When you used to be on the show every day.
Sure.
And the segment is called Make Will Laugh, because Will doesn't always laugh. It's not like you're an impossible laugh, but you're a tough laugh. But when you do, it is...
I'm told it's amusing.
It is very amusing. It puts a smile on everybody's face, and it's mellifluous. I love your laugh.
Thank you.
So the way this works is like this. You call in right now at 576-7798. The lines are totally clear. 576-7798. And you tell us your best, quick, clean joke. Best, quick, and clean joke to try to make Will laugh. So can you do that? 576-7798. The lines are clear. You can call in right now and you'll get on your best, quick, clean joke.
I have a quick, clean joke.
Okay, go ahead.
You keep saying that Rod can't walk without pain.
Mm-hmm.
So Walking with Pain, is that the latest 90s grunge band?
How could it be the latest 90s grunge band?
You know, I was trying to figure out the proper delivery
Go
on
answer
that
the
joke.
phone, Sam. Go answer the phone.
The punchline was there.
Sam, go answer the phones!
Meanwhile,
that was its own level of terrible. Congratulations.
all right, well,
I mean, I'm not saying.
I don't know if I can top Sam.
I tried.
I don't know what could. I don't know what could.
Sam, phones.
I love it when Rebecca turns on stern mom voice.
Because she's the best at that.
Right, but when she means business, it's like, Sam, phones.
The 11 have often said that
Don't make me pull this car
listening to the
over.
show with Rebecca is like listening to somebody try to herd cats. Like when she tries to get us back on a topic, it just ain't happening.
Yeah.
All right, so what is the joke that you have for Will to try to make Will laugh?
All right, well, you ready for this?
Ready as I'm ever going to be.
What did one hat say to the other?
I have no idea.
You stay here. I'll go on ahead.
Wow.
Okay, that was awful.
I hurt my side a little bit when I laughed.
You must be like, you have to be the one that leads the crowd at the comedy club.
I'll go on ahead. You get it? Because the
I get
hat
it.
on the head.
I get it.
I actually have. I've been
just
at a
not
comedy
funny.
club. I went to see Dave Attell, and he's hilarious. He's one of my favorite comedians of all time.
And I remind you of him.
Yes, and I laughed so hard, I turned a table over. At the Funny Bone in St. Louis, I flipped the table because I hit it so hard. Laughing, boom. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Johnny. Johnny, can you make Will laugh?
This three-legged dog walks into the local bar and says, "I'm looking for the man who shot my paw."
No?
Thank you, Johnny. Have a good evening.
How often do we get a call from Cajun Man? Johnny the Cajun Man.
I was wondering what that accent was.
That is a classic Rob Schneider SNL character, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it? No, it was Adam Sandler. It was Adam Sandler. But Rob Schneider played the Cajun Man character in The Waterboy. That's a fact.
Hey,
All right.
here's
Yes.
one from the text line. What do you call a cow jumping over a barbed wire fence?
What?
Utter destruction.
Ew. That's not funny. That's
Right,
just
that's gross.
disgusting.
Because, the fence.
All
Okay.
right. Let's go to Carl. Carl, you're on the Jonathan Weir Show. Can you make Will laugh, Carl?
We'll see what happens. I actually heard a preacher say this, so it better be clean.
Okay, better.
All right. Well, we've in the past Bob Hope passed away, then Johnny Cash,
Already hilarious.
then Steve Jobs.
Mhm.
We've got no hope. We got no cash. We got no jobs. Please, Lord, don't take Kevin Bacon.
No, nothing. Sorry. I'm sorry, Carl.
Okay. Well, keep in mind, you know this, Jonathan. Carl may not be hip to this, but I am like the world's biggest pig lover.
That's true. You don't
So-
I forgot about
Right.
that.
He's
Yeah.
almost crying.
Anything involving eating bacon is not going to go over well with me.
You and Rebecca have that in common.
That's right, because
she's a vegetarian.
I don't eat pork or any other meat.
All right. 576-7798. You got to keep calling.
Okay, this person on the text line gets it. What I find hilarious is the people who think Lady Gaga is better than Ambrosia.
That's funny.
Who's Ambrosia?
Yeah, I don't know who Ambrosia is.
Ambrosia is a yacht rock band from the 70s.
Of course. Yeah. And Lady Gaga's not better than Ambrosia?
Of course she's not.
Okay. Let's go to Gentry. Gentry. Can you make Will laugh, Gentry?
Well, I hope. Here we go.
Okay.
Why can't dinosaurs talk?
Because they're dead?
Because they're dead.
All right, wait a minute. Wait. Did it happen?
Yeah, it happened.
Wait, so you laughed?
Yeah.
You laughed because
Yeah.
But you need
It's
a
only
punchline.
7:10. You can't laugh yet.
I love anti-humor.
Oh, my God.
Anti-humor is great.
So what you're saying is my jokes were really funny.
No, I'm saying your joke was about as funny as cancer.
Oh.
No, and
That was anti-humor. I like it.
Okay, thank you.
And my name is Larry.
You know what? I'm not
sorry.
counting that one.
Okay.
Because you were laughing more at the fact that you knew what he was going to say than you were at the joke itself.
That is true. That is true.
I think you were laughing because you were right.
Yeah, that's true.
And the joke was so stupid. Let's go to Tammy. Tammy, can you make Will laugh?
I think so.
All right, let's do this.
What do you got, Tammy?
Okay, this guy, he gets on the plane, he's got 7 kids with him, and stewardess goes, What do you do? What do you got these kids with? And he goes, well, ma'am, I am a traveling salesman for a condom company, and these are customer complaints.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
The dead dinosaur made you laugh.
I'm not laughing. But
Tammy's condom joke.
I'm not laughing, but I got a good grin going here.
Boy,
It's
I
pretty
thought it was
good.
good, Tammy. Very good.
It was
call.
pretty good.
And the fact that you were calling from a stagecoach in 1887
what was that?
made that all the more impressive.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you. Rebecca, any other ones from the text line?
Not appropriate ones.
Oh, jeez Louise. Mm-hmm. All right. 576-7798.
Oh, here's one.
Okay.
How do you make Lady Gaga mad?
How?
Poker face.
That reminds me of the one that I heard yesterday, which was, what is 50 Cent called in Zimbabwe? $400 million.
It's not funny. They're having problems over there.
What's the best thing about Switzerland?
What?
I have no idea, but the flag is a big plus.
I thought that was Denmark.
No, that's Switzerland.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
What
right.
is Denmark?
Ron
Now I
always
gotta
makes
look,
the
though.
Denmark joke for the plus. I think he's...
Denmark flag.
All right, I got one for you, and then
Stop
we're going to go back
everything.
to the phones. Okay.
Okay, the flag of Denmark is kind of an off-center plus.
Okay. So, Will, here's the joke.
Yes, sir.
I called my wife at work and asked, hey, do you ever get a shooting pain across your body? Like someone's got a voodoo doll of you and they're stabbing it? Mm-hmm. And she said, no. And I said, okay, how about now?
Mm-hmm. It's not a good joke.
That is a really good joke. And I told it expertly. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you are on the Jonathan Weir Show. Can you make Will laugh?
I'm going to use an anti-humor joke because I think that was the one that kind of tickled his bones.
Okay. I think you might have spoiled it by saying...
I know, Jeremiah.
Well, now I got a real joke.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, now you don't know the difference which one I'm in, so it doesn't matter.
That is
Jeremiah's keeping him on his toes.
All right, what do you got?
A moth walks into a podiatrist, and the podiatrist says, "What's wrong with you, Moth? What can I help you with?" Moth says, "Where do I begin, Doc? My wife, she doesn't even sleep with me anymore, and my kids, they all fell to the cold of last winter. I got problems." And the podiatrist says, "Moth, you got big problems. You should go see a psychiatrist. Why did you come to me?" He said, "Well, the light was on."
Have you never heard that joke before?
No, I've never heard that joke
It
before.
creased him, Jeremiah, but unfortunately it didn't make him laugh. There's a Norm Macdonald version of that joke.
Yeah.
He did it on Conan in like 1999. It goes on for like 8 minutes of him going,
Okay, that's funny.
well, my wife left me and she left me for this other moth named Gary, and Gary has a better job than me, and it just reminds me of what a soul suck. It's great. It's really funny.
Well, the thing
This
about
keeps going on.
and the thing about Norm Macdonald is he would stretch out his jokes so.
Norm Macdonald doesn't care if you're laughing or not. He's just going to keep talking.
I saw Norm Macdonald do stand-up. A radio station I worked at one time did an event with him on New Year's Eve. Where they had Tom Green do stand-up and Norm Macdonald do stand-up.
Why would they do that to Tom Green?
It was actually entertaining.
Was he? Okay.
Tom Green doing stand-up was actually entertaining.
I find that hard.
Norm Macdonald did an hour, and it was okay, but I swear he only told 4 jokes in that time. Because
he just stretches them out.
Exactly, man. He just stretched everything out, and everything was a spur off of it.
He does a joke like that where he just stretches it out, and it's just basically the observation of why don't serial killers dig deeper graves? like why are they digging shallow graves all the time?
That's true.
And he goes through like the whole scenario of being a serial killer, only to mess it up at the end by going, just dig her just a foot down. Anyway, all right. 2 more calls on this, and then
I better laugh.
We better. Otherwise, we're gonna have to move on to the next segment. Let's go to Tim. Tim, you're on the Jonathan Weir Show. Tim, can you make Will laugh?
Okay, back in the day, if Ella Fitzgerald married Darth Vader, what would her name be? Elevator.
All right, we're learning something today about timing, okay?
Some people have it. Some people don't.
Need to pause a little bit. Otherwise, it sounds like you're still telling the joke when you're just in the setup. But good try. That was a good try.
Thank you.
And thank you. One last call on this. Let's go to Sarah. Sarah, can you make Will laugh?
I'm going to try.
All right.
Horse walks into the bar. The bartender says, "So, why the long face?"
Nothing. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry, everybody.
Okay, wait.
Best
Can
we
I
got.
try? Can I try one more?
Yeah.
One more. Go for it.
Will, did you hear about the circus fire?
No.
It was intense.
I got a good one. It's an anti-joke.
Okay.
What is yellow and something that you probably shouldn't drink?
What?
A school bus.
Jonathan Weir Show.
So Sam, who led off the worst thing anybody's ever said on the show, which is saying a lot, ended it by actually making Will laugh. Congratulations, Sam Stevie. I'll answer the phones. I think that's just going to be a regular
phones.
Sam phones.
I'll be here all week.
Coming up on the Jonathan Weir Show, this isn't a very funny story, but it's, I don't know what to say this story is. There's a guy in jail, and he's facing charges of third-degree murder because he sprung his wife from her nursing home and had a meth-fueled death party with her.
I'm sorry, what?
We'll talk about it in 5 minutes at 7:22 here on 98.1.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
All right. If we can throw this guy in jail, I don't see why we couldn't throw, I don't know, the CEO of Purdue Pharmaceutical in jail. This 58-year-old guy in Minnesota. His name is Dwayne Johnson. He's not The Rock.
Can we just call him Not Rock for the rest of the
Not
story?
Rock.
Every time he
that.
comes up, it's Not Rock.
You know, that's you say your favorite brand of music. Well, there it is, Yacht Rock. Not Rock actually would fit as well.
It kind of would.
Yeah. Not Rock threw a meth-fueled death party for his wife, and he's being charged with murder because his wife died of an overdose of meth that he gave to her. Quote, "The facts of this case are pretty strange," said Brown County Attorney Chuck Hansen. In Minnesota, a defendant can be charged with third-degree murder, meaning just for providing drugs to somebody.
Right.
Whether or not they intended to kill them doesn't matter. If you give or sell drugs to somebody who then overdoses on those drugs, you can be charged with murder.
Sure.
Which I think is ridiculous, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now, according to Not Rock, his wife begged him to do this, wanted this to happen. She wanted to die on her own terms. Quote, he reported that he couldn't stand to see her suffer anymore and that he had promised her a party. The death party lasted 5 days. They played loud rock music.
That's a hell of a party.
They did a ton of meth. He held her in bed. She would convulse and have problems. She wanted to die. The defendant stated that he was, quote, in less pain now that his wife had died because God had given him mercy and relieved some of his pain for doing the right thing. Here's the interesting thing about his wife, though, and this is where I think the controversy lies. I don't think that if she was days away from death from cancer or some other terminal disease, people would say, oh, well, big deal. Let the guy go. She was going to die anyway. Apparently, that's not the case. She was not terminal. She suffered from multiple medical conditions, diabetes, and she had several cardiac arrests, and she also had severe depression to the point where she was in a nursing home.
Ooh.
He said she was on the verge of death and wanted to die. He said that she was about to die anyway. Now, here's the thing. What kind of BS justice system do we have where we're charging people with murder for providing a drug when we don't exactly charge CVS, we don't charge Walgreens, we don't charge Purdue Pharmaceutical or Pfizer for providing oxycodone or opiates that people are overdosing on. We don't charge their doctors for giving them a bunch of pills, though I think actually some doctors have been charged a little bit.
Because there are,
because those are legal.
Right, because there are circumstances in which those are legal.
But that's, to me, I don't see any difference. I don't see any difference between that and this. I think that if you are giving somebody drugs,
the other part of it too is this guy's not a medical professional.
Yeah, fine, but actually, I think that's a better excuse for him. Medical professionals should know better. Purdue specifically lied about oxycodone and said it's not addictive at all. Right. Or Oxycontin, I mean. Right. And it's not addictive. Only 1% of people will ever get addicted to this. They knew it was a lie, and now the FDA has just fast-tracked their antidote for opiate overdoses. Well, so they created the problem, and now they're going to make money off of fixing it.
Look, you'll hear no argument from me about the way that the whole opioid thing has been handled. I mean, it's been screwed up from the start. But to somehow take from that the notion that we shouldn't be charging someone with murder for dispensing an illegal drug to someone who ends up dying from it, that's a leap I can't really make.
You think that somebody should be charged with third-degree murder?
I didn't necessarily.
So you're not saying that. But I'm just trying to get clarification.
What I am saying is I don't think that one of them has anything to do with the other.
Oh, I think that they're directly related. We're charging somebody with third-degree murder, or they're charging somebody with third-degree murder for facilitating a drug. They say in the charging documents, it doesn't matter whether or not you thought it was going to kill them. You can still get charged with third-degree murder. Well, what are we doing with opiates? Isn't that the exact same thing? We're giving it to people and going, it's kind of risky, but here you go.
It comes back to the whole drugs versus pharmaceuticals thing.
Yeah.
Pharmaceuticals, whether it's right or wrong, we always treat differently from street drugs. Always. And we've done this, for decades. And that's what this really comes down to.
I guess my point is, at the end of the day, people are dying from legal drugs and illegal drugs.
Oh, of course.
And
absolutely.
We need to stop parsing things, and either we need to start being consistent with who we're charging for what crimes, or we need to say this guy needs to be let go because we wouldn't charge a pharmacist for doing the same thing.
Here's the other part of it, too. If we do start charging pharmacists or any medical professional for this, at some point, fingers come back on the federal government, because after all, they're the ones who greenlit this stuff. And at least when it comes to meth, they can say, that's not FDA approved.
Right.
We didn't sign off on that.
Well, some meth is, right? I mean, Ritalin, that's meth, isn't it?
No, it's different.
There's some meth, right?
There's a difference between Ritalin and meth. I think
Adderall's a type of meth.
It's a cousin of it, but it's not the same thing.
Well, it's not bathtub crank, obviously.
But it's not lab crank either. There is a chemical difference. It's not just the manufacturing process.
I'm just going to end on this. My point is, if you are fine with a man going to prison, being deprived of his liberty at your expense because he helped his wife die on her terms, then you're part of the problem. If that is something you think somebody should be charged with, and I know Will Sterrett, you don't, but I know plenty of people do think that this man should be charged. I think you're part of the problem. And the problem is over-incarceration, and the problem is crime. We have a twofold problem. We have the most incarcerated people in one of the highest rates of incarceration in the world in America, certainly the highest of a first world country, and also one of the highest crime rates. So we need to stop throwing people in prison and actually start looking at solutions for problems.
The real thing, and I will leave it at this on this whole issue, is not so much should he be charged for dispensing the drugs. The real travesty is that we do not let people who want to die.
I agree with that.
That's the problem.
Yeah. If she wanted to die on her own terms,
if she wanted to die, she should be allowed to die.
Yeah. The only problem is, I don't know if he got her to sign a paper saying,
it's Minnesota.
I want to die in a meth-fueled
It's Minnesota. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
All right. Coming up, speaking of drugs, we're going to talk about the fun version of drugs. Marijuana, though I guess this isn't technically marijuana. It's something that's legal in Kansas. CBD.
Weed oil.
The Jelly Belly creator. You know Jelly Bellies? With great flavors and stuff?
Jelly beans.
He wants to start making, and is going to start making, CBD-infused jelly beans.
Weed beans.
Are these good? Are these effective? We'll talk about that in 5 minutes here on 98.1.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
All right. So the makers of Jelly Belly, specifically the creator David Klein, is branching out with the new product, CBD-infused jelly beans.
Weed beans.
David Klein, who created Jelly Belly back in 1976. Man, that has to be something that was made in the 70s or 80s. Like, there's no... I just can't imagine somebody making that in any other decade, but
why?
Maybe the late 70s. I don't know.
Jelly beans are such an old-timey thing, though.
Yeah, jelly beans are, but the idea of we're going to have all these crazy flavors, man. I don't know why. It's just something...
I don't know.
There's just something sweet about that. I don't know. No pun intended. Anyway, he says he recently became aware of the benefits of cannabidiol. Is that how you say it? Cannabidiol?
Yeah, I thought it was
cannabidiol.
Let me look it up.
Cannabidiol. CBD. This is why we call it CBD, because people are too stupid to say it properly, people like me. And notice that no one had made them into a jelly bean yet.
Cannabidiol? I don't know.
Now, his new company, Spectrum Confections, is rolling out CBD jelly beans in many of the same flavors that made Jelly Belly popular. Like, toasted marshmallow, strawberry cheesecake, mango, and pina colada. A sugar-free version is also available for people who don't like the sugar and maybe have the sugar.
Side note, why is that the one disease that we will refer to by what causes it?
Yeah, you don't call lung cancer the smokes.
Right, exactly.
Though you could. Yeah, maybe we should.
You don't call hepatitis dirty needle. Why do we call diabetes the sugar?
Anyway, here's my question. I'm going to open this up for the phones. 576-7798. I want to hear from you if you've done CBD oil. It's totally legal now in Kansas and Missouri. And you see these shops. Is it just me or these? They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
It's like Spirit Halloween stores. on the 15th of September, every vacant store turns into a Spirit Halloween store. Mm-hmm. It's just like with these CBD shops. Every spot they could habitate in, they are now there. You would think maybe you would just see them at the mall or something, but nope. They are everywhere. Everybody's, I guess, doing this, or at least sees the investment potential in this. I've not done it. Now, this is the way this works is it's basically weed oil without THC, so you do not get high off of it.
Right.
You just get the benefits.
Text line is screaming at me. CBD is not weed, Will. I know.
It's made from the same plant.
Right.
It's from the cannabis plant.
It's weed, it's weed without the THC.
All right, so if you want to call in and just talk about the wonders of CBD, or maybe talk about how it's a placebo and doesn't really work, I just want to hear from you because I have no idea. I've had people tell me I should give it to my dog. Should I give it to my dog?
Yeah, I've heard about that too, that it calms them.
Yeah, because my dog is crazy and has serious anxiety issues. I don't know where he gets that from. But he does, and people are like, oh, you just need to give him some CBD. It'll be great.
You don't know where that comes from? Didn't we talk about how our dogs take on our characteristics, and so he's just like you?
Obviously kidding. I was obviously joking. I'm sorry. And I will be rehearsing this conversation or rehashing this conversation later in my head. And I'm like, why is she yelling at me? What did I do?
I've tried it a little bit. Yeah, in earnest. It didn't give me the desired effect, but...
Didn't do anything for you.
Yeah, but I also don't feel like I was really... I don't really feel like I stuck to it long enough and with enough regularity. In other words...
So it doesn't just work immediately?
I'm told that it does, but for other things, I'm told you got to use it for a week or two.
See, I don't want to get it because I don't know about the costs or whatever of it, but I'm one of the few people I've met who does not like marijuana, where I've smoked pot, I've had edibles, and they do nothing for me. They either do nothing or they make me sick. Like I'm just in between that. Everyone else thinks things are really funny, and he gets the munchies and just chills out on the couch. It's real fun. Nope. I'm the one person, no matter, I've tried both strains, doesn't matter. It doesn't work for me. It just makes me sick or it does nothing.
The other way that I kind of look at the whole CBD oil is because the whole thing is, does it actually work or is it a placebo? I've always felt this way about placebo stuff. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that it really doesn't work, that it's all placebo effect. So?
Yeah, big deal.
Aren't you still getting the desired effect?
Yeah, it's psychological benefits.
You know,
big deal.
I mean, if that's what it takes to get it, rock on.
Yeah. Maybe that's why pot doesn't work for me, because I'm, like, way too analytical.
You're just not listening to the Grateful Dead while you do it.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
But when it comes to these jelly beans, how many jelly beans do you have to eat to get that effect that you're looking for?
As many as it takes.
I mean, they're little jelly beans.
Right. Well, you can.
So then you're
infuse it
like
with
down in like a
concentrated
ton
CBD
of
oil.
sugar just so that you can relax.
Did
with
you
CBD
not
oil?
hear the part where I said there's a sugar-free version available?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But then you're going to get cancer.
Wow, that was a leap.
So we're going to go with diabetes, cancer, or arthritis. My grandma uses CBD oil for her arthritis.
Yeah,
and
it helps.
It depends on the method that you're doing. So, like for the droplets that you put in your mouth or you put in liquid, that is a thing that builds up in your body over time. So you have to kind of do that to hope for it to get an effect at some point.
Can you get is it like a topical thing?
Yeah, so she has the lotion. So she puts the lotion on her hands and on her knees, and she says it works super duper well.
I've been told that, yes, that actually is an immediate impact. I did not know about the oral drop thing taking some time.
By the way, She Has the Lotion really does sound like a 90s song.
Right.
Thank you, Sam Stevie.
She puts the lotion
on her skin. Does your grandma get the hose again?
Thank you.
No?
Thank you.
We can't go there with your grandma?
No.
That made Will laugh.
That's nasty.
576-7798 helps if I say that into the microphone. 576-7798. Call in if you've used CBD oil. How does it work for you?
Isn't it kind of a slippery slope, though, with the whole jelly bean thing? Because, follow me now, okay?
Yes.
You eat the jelly beans, which have the CBD in them. Mm-hmm. We know about munchies.
Right.
We also know that munchies lean toward junk food. Jelly beans are junk food.
Right.
So do you get on your own slippery slope where you keep ingesting more of the CBD jelly beans that make you want more of them, so you just keep, accelerating on down the hill?
I thought about that with edibles. Like, if you eat pot and it gives you the munchies, do you want to eat more? But I think one of the reasons you get the munchies is your body, you can actually purge marijuana from your system or THC from your system. I've had it explained to me by somebody who has severe back pain. I've had it explained to me that you purge THC from your system using sugary stuff. So if you get really high and you don't feel like you can handle it, he said you can eat like a bunch of fruit roll-ups and you'll feel better. He said it's something to do with insulin. I don't know.
You can tell I'm not a stoner because I'm asking this question.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jerry in Independence. You tried CBD and did not have a good experience, right, Jerry?
Correct.
Yeah, so what happened?
Yeah. I took the minimum dosage that was recommended by the guy that sold it to me. It was an authorized place, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, just feel like the first couple of days I was like waiting for some kind of because I got bad anxiety and stuff. And I was like, okay, maybe this will help. And then it put me through what's known as depersonalization. And if you don't know what that is, you're basically living in a dream state all day and nothing really feels real.
Huh.
And that's kind of what I was going through with it. I mean, I'm glad it works for people, but
Yeah.
it's just not for me.
That's funny because it seems like you got the psychoactive, side effects of it, which you're not supposed to get with CBD.
Yeah, I'm a rare breed, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Throughout high school, I was kind of a pothead, and it helped me focus in school. But nowadays, if I go near that stuff, I just go into a mad panic attack, and I just don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's Jerry, that's basically been my experience with it. And it sucks, doesn't it? Because you see everybody else having fun, and it's just like, great. Yeah, I'm glad you're having a great time with this. That's awesome. Thanks for your call. I can't tell you how frustrating it is.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, especially because your best friend is a stoner.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's clean now, but he talks about all the great times he's had on pot.
Indeed.
I just can't.
He might need some for his back pain.
I'm pretty sure this whole thing is just to get medical marijuana.
Huge performance.
It's just a big performance. And he could have gotten it for anything else. He's got enough problems.
Like the glaucoma?
Yeah. It's real bad. Now he's got lumbago on top of it. Let's go to Scott in Osawatomie. Scott, you get the last call on this. Have you tried CBD?
Yes, I have, Jonathan.
And what's your experience been with that?
It's very good. It makes me get more attention, but that's not the big thing. DeSoto, it just opened up a hemp school to grow hemp in DeSoto. So they're going to train you how to grow hemp because the state of Kansas just allows farmer to grow hemp, and that's for CBD oil.
Yeah, they just passed that legislation last year. I remember that they passed the legislation, and it was weird for a while because at the beginning of last year there was only one CBD shop in the area, and it was it's called Into the Mystic here in Mission, and they shut him down. He was selling CBD oil, and they shut him down.
That's right.
And then a couple of weeks later, they're like, whatever. And then like a month after that, they went, everybody can sell hemp. It's fine. And that's when all these CBD places have popped up. Sorry to get into the history of it, but I just find that amazing how quickly, like overnight, it's been less than a year, and now these stores are everywhere. But just last year, we were talking about, why isn't this legal? It's not fair.
It was a lawsuit that won. And as soon as that lawsuit was won, the states were open to it because it was always open to all 50 states. But it was each individual state would prosecute it as needed. And then finally a federal lawsuit won, and then the states just said, we're not wasting our money on this.
So what do you use it for? How does it help you?
I'm in my 50s, and I find that it just makes me pay attention more. I'm really hyper. Really hyper, and it just gives me concentration.
All right. Scott, thanks for your call. I appreciate it.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
I have to say, like, I'm not endorsing this, and I know I've known people who've used it, and it has not had an effect on them, but I started using an antidepressant 2 years ago that's brand named Wellbutrin, and it totally changed my life. So I know different drugs work for different people. If CBD works for you, that's great. If it helps you concentrate, it's amazing how many problems in your life that fixes when you're finally able to focus on stuff.
Will it get me more miles per gallon in my car?
It might get you more money. That can get you more miles per gallon.
All right.
The Jonathan Weir Show. Coming up, I don't know, something.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
All right, we just have a couple minutes here, and I just want to tell this story about I went through the drive-thru today. I'm not going to say which place it was, but I went through the drive-thru of a Mexican, some people might say Tex-Mex restaurant today.
A faux Mexican place?
Yes, which I like. I like their food.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered my food, and I ordered a quesadilla for my baby, my 2-year-old, but I didn't want jalapeno sauce on it because it is spicy, and obviously it's not good for him. So I was like, I want
no quiero jalapeno sauce.
Sure, right.
Okay.
So I was like, I want a number 6 Diet Mountain Dew, and give me a quesadilla with no creamy jalapeno sauce. And this voice answers, it's like Foghorn Leghorn's sister. Answered
Did
me
she say,
back.
I say.
Yeah, all right.
I say.
All right. So you want number 6. So that's 2 chalupas and a taco with a Diet Mountain Dew.
Diet Mountain Dew.
And then you want a quesadilla.
Quesadilla.
And then listen to this, and I'm going to have to bleep myself, I think, just because of the context. You think I should have to bleep when I say this, Will? Because you know what I'm going to say.
No, I think you're fine.
Okay. Then she said...
No, go ahead and bleep yourself.
Okay, just to be safe. She says, you want a quesadilla with creamy jalapeno sauce on it.
Wait, what was that?
She said penis, okay? Instead of jalapeno, she said jalapeno.
Because she ran the words jalapeno
because she
and
was
sauce
very Southern
together.
And she ran those words together, and she didn't pronounce jalapeno correctly.
And it sounded like male anatomy.
So I said to her, could you say that again?
Because you had to hear it again.
What was that? She said, 2 chalupas, crunchy taco, Diet Mountain Dew, you want a quesadilla with no creamy jalapeno sauce on it.
And you're laughing at this point.
She sounded like she was saying creamy, hollow
male genitalia
sauce. And so I looked at Finn, who did not, this was not registering with him. The kid just doesn't get comedy. And I looked back at the screen and went, could you please say that again?
Oh my gosh, you asked her again.
And she was exasperated, but still said a quesadilla with creamy jalapeno sauce on it.
So you got 2 chalupas.
2 chalupas!
Did you not hear me the first 2 times?
To be fair, Napoleon Dynamite's mom said quesadilla, and that movie was in Idaho.
That was his grandmother. Thank you.
Was his grandmother?
Was his grandmother.
Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
Yeah. And I'm so I don't know. I posted that on Twitter and Facebook, and I was like, I don't know how to talk about this on air. But it's the funniest thing that has happened to me for a while. I was literally crying in the drive-thru for this place because I was laughing so hard at this woman who says jalapenos.
You wrote it on my show notes, and I was like, what is... Oh, well, find out later.
And I felt bad about that
over here.
Because, you know...
The Jonathan Weir Show.
You get me in trouble.
You must not have had a good laugh in a while if that's going to get you going.
Rebecca, what's coming up on the show?
Do you remember Mama June from Honey Boo Boo?
I guess so.
Well, if I were to tell you she's in the news again, would you assume it's for a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad thing.
What bad thing is she in the news for? I will tell you in 5 minutes.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
I mean, is it left or is it right?
I'm independent.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
I'm independent.
Will Starrett joining us. One more hour of the Jonathan Weir Show.
Hello.
What did you... We had a text right before we
text
came on
line,
air.
regarding the word jalapeno from the text line. I heard a friend pronounce it Japoloni. Which just sounds horribly racist.
Sounds like like a Japanese lunch meat.
Or like the bologna that
Yeah.
has like the olives in it and stuff.
Yeah, the olive loaf.
Yeah.
Yes. Side note, and I know this is gross, but I have always loved pickle loaf. I hate
Never
that I
had it.
can't eat it anymore. It's bologna with pickles in it.
Why can't you eat it anymore?
Pork.
Oh, it has pork?
Yeah.
What doesn't have pork in it? It seems like you've had to restrict because, Will,
Yeah.
you have a serious thing, and I respect the hell out of you for this,
Thank
but
you.
you have a serious thing. You don't like to eat anything that has pork in it.
Correct.
Not for religious reasons like many people, but for personal
Ethical
principle
reasons, yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
Pigs are smart, and you don't like the way they're processed, which I get.
Yeah.
But like it seems like everything has pork in it.
It's very difficult to avoid.
There was like some pill you had to stop taking because it had pork in it.
Yes, anything that has gelatin in it, chances are it is pork gelatin unless it is specifically listed otherwise. And so that means a lot of like to your thing with the pill, pretty much all gel caps are out. I can't take any of those. I can't eat most gummy bears, gummy worms, gummy whatever it is because again,
So Rebecca,
gelatin.
do you eat these things?
Nope, I do not.
Really? Wow.
But pickle loaf was something I used to love.
Where's the pork and pickle loaf?
That's what the meat is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there's meat in it. I didn't know.
Well, it's
I just knew it was pickled tasting loaf. I don't know.
What part of bologna with pickles in it did you miss?
I missed
You know
that part.
bologna is meat, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, bologna.
I mean, it's...
Sam, answer the phone.
Phone, Sam.
So this is gossip.
Time to take a ride at Rebecca Crackett's Celebrity Rocket.
Blast off.
Hey, Rebecca, what's up?
All right. I'm sorry, stuck on the
Sam
phones.
Here's Rebecca.
Okay.
He's been on the show 3 times and he already has a catchphrase. It's not a positive thing. It's not good.
No such thing as bad publicity.
Mm-hmm.
So Disney.
Yes.
They've been trying to find somebody to fill the spot for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Right.
This after they fired James Gunn for some comments that he made on Twitter like a million years ago.
Right. Speaking of baloney, fired for making some really, I mean, don't get me wrong, despicable jokes on Twitter, but he apologized for the jokes.
He did.
He came clean and said, I'm really sorry. He deleted them. And
he hasn't had a recent history of being like that.
And then, like a year ago, maybe it was less than a year ago, I don't remember when it was, this right-wing, alt-right, even white supremacist a-hole, Mike Cernovich, had a problem with James Gunn because he isn't a Nazi, I guess. I don't know. And resurfaced all these tweets, made a big deal about it on his stupid white supremacist website, and somehow that got James Gunn fired.
Yeah.
And it was the dumbest controversy ever because, again, he apologized for it. This was a man who was married to Jenna Fisher, Pam from The Office. You're going to tell me he's a bad person?
Nope, no way. No way. Jenna wouldn't marry somebody who's a bad person.
And granted, they're divorced, but it's a very amicable divorce. Anyway, so they rehired him now, though.
Oh, well, thanks for taking that moment from me.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I thought Jenna Fisher was the Long Island Lolita. Oh, no, that was Amy Fisher. Never mind.
Fisher.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Is it Amy Fisher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Amy.
Anyway.
Continue.
Well, how the turntables. Because guess who they've hired?
Solid reference.
James Gunn?
Yes.
They've rehired him.
Yeah, they rehired him.
He's
He's
familiar
back.
with the project.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where the bodies are buried, so to speak.
Yeah, Disney's not speaking. James, however, tweeted it in a very appropriate tweet.
And then didn't follow that tweet up with like a joke about peeing on a child.
No, not
I'm
at
assuming
all.
Good. Okay, because he got in trouble for jokes like that.
Yeah, no, he said, I'm always learning, and I will continue to work at being the best human being I can be. I deeply appreciate Disney's decision, and I'm excited to continue making films that investigate the ties of love that bind us all.
Okay, now I kind of want him fired.
Okay.
James Gunn 1, R. Kelly 0.
Well,
he's got to say the right thing
he
here.
only made jokes about those things. He didn't actually do it and then videotape himself doing it.
Right. My bad.
All right.
All right, you want to talk about Mama June?
Sure.
Okay, I haven't heard about her for a while. She
I-
kind of disappeared
Yeah, it was-
when her daughter got older.
It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Disappeared into...
Well, her and her boyfriend, Gino Doak?
Sure.
Doak?
I don't know.
Doak?
I don't
Either
care
way,
either.
it sounds dumb.
It's probably Doak. D-O-A-K?
Yeah.
Doke. Say it like you are missing half of your brain.
Mama June and Gino Doak
There you go.
were busted at an Alabama gas station with crack and drug paraphernalia.
Hopefully this means we won't hear about them for a while.
I don't know. The police were originally called out because the two of them were having a fight.
All right, I'm just going to pause for a second and let everybody, including Sam, make their Mama June busted for crack joke in their head.
Wait, in your
head. Don't say it out loud because it's not necessary.
I can't. There's too many phone calls.
Is this
coming
an
in.
obvious joke? Because I don't get it.
Look at her.
Yeah? Okay. Wow. Hate to see what she'd look like
She was
without it.
busted for crack. You wouldn't think it would be the drug, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Anyway, the paraphernalia
That's why I said
included a
everybody
glass
make it in your
pipe
head.
and some needles. And then after she was released, Mama June had to go get her truck out of the impound.
So, wait, hold on a second. But they weren't busted for... They didn't actually have the drug.
No, but they
So you
had a glass pipe and some needles.
Can you get charged with just having a glass pipe and needles?
Drug paraphernalia.
Well, yeah. And,
that is so stupid.
And maybe the drugs were in the needles, and now they're inside of them.
If there's residue and paraphernalia, they got a case for it.
And they were probably acting a little psycho. I mean, they were in a fight.
Well,
and it is Mama June and Gino Doke. Doke.
To quote rapper and philosopher Jay-Z, "I'ma be a failure, surrounded by thugs, drugs, and drug paraphernalia."
Wow, he rhymed paraphernalia.
And see, that applies to Mama June.
That does. Well, I mean,
Is anybody surprised?
No,
I mean,
I'm actually just surprised she's still alive, to be honest with you.
Right.
And I remember when that show was kind of popular. It just started here on air, and I made some crack about Mama June.
Crack.
I made some crack about Mama June or Honey Boo. I don't think I made fun of the child, right? I don't think I made fun of the child because I wouldn't do that, but I was making fun of her. And there was some person out there who I pissed off who emailed me every day to let me know, and I'm not kidding, let me know that they were not listening to my show.
Well, I'm glad they kept you up to date regularly.
Right. And I guess they still aren't listening, or maybe now they are.
Well, they stopped with the emails, right? So maybe
So it
they're
must
back.
mean they're listening.
Until
They're one
now.
of the 11.
So, okay, was it just crack that is believed to be in this? Because it seems like, quite frankly, not the drug that I would have bet Mama June to
You
be
think
using.
meth.
Right, exactly.
Well, it says they were busted with crack and drug paraphernalia.
She looks like a meth gal.
Just that part of the country.
Yeah, that's probably
Maybe
it.
she was doing meth, and then she
decided to
you know
switch
what
it up
it was?
a little bit.
It was she had money, so she went from meth to cocaine, but now doesn't have as much money, so
Right,
she needs
so
to
she's
concentrate her cocaine
on the downhill slide, so
Right.
she's on the rock.
There you go.
Got it.
All right.
Okay, everybody is going crazy about this whole Katie Couric and Brian Gumbel thing.
Yeah,
Have you heard about this?
I saw this on Facebook earlier, and I don't understand what the controversy is, but it was like him.
He's given her a hard time when she went on maternity leave. This
Like
was back in
30 years ago.
1991.
Right, so 28 years ago, he gives her a hard time for going on maternity leave, and all of a sudden we need to kill his career over it. You want to hear the audio? Here's the audio of it.
Okay.
You're not going to be upset by this, I guarantee you. Especially if it doesn't play. There we go.
Now 8:25. You getting misty-eyed yet?
Oh, yes. In fact. Sorry. Anyone
She's
have a
trying to lean
forklift?
over there.
Yeah, Brian. I
shift a
really
bit.
am. I'm going to miss you terribly.
Yeah, thank you very much. What are you going to do for the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks? How long are you gone?
I'm gone for 9 weeks.
Why so long?
Well,
remember the good old days, you know?
When they just squatted in those fields
That's
and just
right.
came right back
Come
into
on
the
back
house
to work, you
and
know? I
cooked
mean, that's
those
the-
men up a big old supper.
That's right.
Those days.
That's right.
Those days are over.
Get my vittles on the table.
That's right.
Get them vittles
Those
out there.
days are history. Well, I'm not due for 3 weeks, so I'm going to relax for 3 weeks, as much as you can relax when you're carrying around 30 extra pounds. Thank you, my pearls. And then hopefully, I'll have the baby and everything. And then it's a major shock to your body. I hope you realize.
All right, so, yeah, she posted it and was like, I can't believe he said these things. We're very friendly now, but probably not anymore. What was so bad about that? He was
Well, I
obviously
think he was-
joking.
I don't know. It sounded like he was making her feel bad for taking maternity leave.
Do you honestly think that if you were pregnant and you were on the show announcing that you were going on maternity leave, that we wouldn't have had the same exact kind of conversation in 2019?
I mean, yeah, you and Rod would definitely
we
make
would just
fun of
be
me.
giving you crap, though. It's not like we're serious. He obviously wasn't serious. He's like, why do you need to take so much time off?
By her reaction, I thought she didn't know that he was joking.
Well, then she's an idiot.
Let the record reflect. I would drive in specifically to join those two in making fun of you for
Well, good thing this will never happen.
Right. Because
I will never be pregnant again and
Right.
never be on maternity leave.
Right.
Anything's possible.
Not that, apparently.
Immaculate conception.
I think that was literally her crushing eggs. That sound was her.
Not anymore.
All right, you got anything else?
Captain Marvel hit it big in the box office again, second week. $69 million more than last week, or
No, 69
added-
million. Right.
added on,
Yeah.
up to $266 million in its second week.
Right. Well, good. I like the movie. It's a really fun movie. It's not surprising. I don't think it had any competition. Is that god-awful Wonder Park movie that
What is that?
10-year-old didn't. It's some CGI
That was number
crap house
2.
thing. It's really not good looking.
I went and saw 5 Feet Apart, which is number 3.
What's 5 Feet Apart?
It's one of those predictable teen movies. Took both my teens.
You took both of them?
Yeah. Every girl in the theater was crying, and then my poor son was sitting in the corner just laughing.
I took Henry to see Frozen because we didn't know it was like a girl
movie.
It was. Do you remember that movie was not marketed as like a princess's ice castle?
Really?
It wasn't. It was marketed as it's this fun movie with a talking snowman and like a moose.
Okay, that's true.
It really was. And so we went on Christmas Day. We went to see Frozen, and halfway through the movie, and I'm just like, oh God, he doesn't like this, and this isn't. He doesn't like it. He leans over to me and goes, Dad. I'm like, what? He's like, how much longer are these girls going to be singing?
The Jonathan Weir Show.
And I said, for the rest of your life.
That is accurate.
It is.
See, son, this is what you have to look forward to. Hope you're enjoying the dawn of your life.
Coming up on the Jonathan Weir Show, a headline that might go over all of our younger listeners' heads, but something that made me very sad and upset. MySpace has apparently lost all of their music that users uploaded between 2003 and 2015. I'm going to assume Will Sterrett is one of those users.
Maybe, but I was going to point out not just music, and photos, and videos.
Really, everything.
Everything.
MySpace is officially dead.
And they did it to themselves.
We'll talk about it in 5 minutes.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
So, the end of an era. It was genuinely sad. And I know talking about this, probably, what do you think, Will? Like, maybe at the oldest, people who were 44, and then at the youngest, 28, maybe? We'll even know what we're talking about. But MySpace...
No, younger than that.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I'd already moved out of,
Sam, did you ever use MySpace?
How old are you, Sam?
I am 21, and yes, I had a MySpace.
See?
You had a MySpace when you were, what, 11?
I can't even tell you when I had a MySpace. It was just like I have a MySpace.
It seemed
now.
like MySpace just hit the wall in like 2008 or 9.
Yeah,
and then Facebook just took over.
It's basically 10 years ago.
Yeah, and the reason it was able to take over is because MySpace is the opposite of Facebook. MySpace, the whole experience was you got to make your page look however you want it. And Facebook's thing is like, no, you will make it look exactly like this.
And you will put your real name on there.
Yeah. And MySpace, you could be whoever you want.
Yeah,
it was fun.
On MySpace, you could have a glittery background and call yourself Baby Cake 69. And everyone's like, okay, fine, whatever.
And I did. Apparently, though, MySpace lost all the music that users uploaded between 2003 and 2015.
Am I the only one who was surprised to learn that MySpace was a thing in 2003? Because I didn't know it was around.
Yeah, good point. I didn't know. I believe like the first social media platform I ever used was LiveJournal. And I went from LiveJournal to MySpace in like 2005. And then like 2008. It's like every 3 years, I guess.
I was never on LiveJournal.
LiveJournal was fun because it was just basically shared blogging.
Yeah.
So like you and your friends would just write blog posts and you can post pictures and stuff in there.
How is that any different from like Blogspot or one of those other...
It's pretty much just...
One of those blogging
just like
sites.
Facebook, except for without an emphasis on pictures. It's more just an emphasis on, hey, here's what I'm thinking about today. When I go back and read those things from 2003, I'm amazed how sober I was when I read that stuff because I've never been a big drinker and I've never been a big drug user, but those things that I was saying on LiveJournal back in 2003 were crazy.
Are you going to share? Are you going to share these with the 11 members of the class?
Maybe one day.
I was going to say
that sounds like a good punishment.
It would be. I would do it tonight. And by the way, I'm owed a punishment that is coming up at 8:54 ish. I'm gonna have to rap.
Yeah, because I legit won.
You legit won, and I also have to hand my Twitter account over to Rebecca.
Yeah.
I would do the LiveJournal thing, but honestly, I would need at least 20 to 30 minutes off air to be able to remember my password and everything. But that is a really good punishment.
Okay, next time.
Go back and I'll have to reread my insane ramblings from when I was like 19 years old. Anyway, MySpace lost it all. This is why you're supposed to back stuff up. In fact, you should have a backup of your backup. That sage advice is something you'd expect a major internet company like MySpace to know, but apparently not. First of all, Tom from MySpace reading this article is like, somebody still thinks we're a major company. Users noticed last year that music links stopped working on the site. Well, now Tom's company just copped to losing pretty much all photos, video, and music that was uploaded between 2003 and 2015. Quote, as a result of a server migration project, any photos, video, and audio files you uploaded more than 3 years ago may no longer be available on our MySpace. Yeah, I love any audio or whatever files you uploaded more than 3 years ago, meaning there isn't anything on there, because who uploaded anything to MySpace within the last 3 years?
I was told that there was still a little bit of activity among the music pages.
See, I'm really sad about this because every band I was ever in, we had a MySpace page and we put our crappy music up there. And one day, I kept telling myself, one day I'm going to go back and get all the music from the MySpace pages.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to have to like contact my guitar player or, a drummer or whoever has the music files and get it from them.
There were some photos that I had on MySpace that I would have liked to have gotten, but I'm so locked out of my account because my MySpace account was the email I signed up with was attached to the internet service provider that I had in 2005, which of course I don't have anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So I can't do the forgot password feature because it sends it to your email account. So I'm locked out of it. There was no way I was going to get that stuff anyway, but I would have liked to have had that option someday.
Do you think the internet's better or worse now than it was when MySpace was huge?
The internet as like the neighborhood that it is was probably better.
Yeah. I think it was a lot more friendly.
Yeah.
It was a lot nicer. We weren't just waiting for people to screw up so we could jump down their throats and scream at them. I mean, there was some of that, but for the most part, it was just like, hey, look at this funny picture of this cat. And now it's like, he posted a picture of a cat. How dare he dehumanize cats that way? They are not jokes.
What a commie liberal.
Of course he's posting pictures of a... See?
Our access to adult videos has improved, though.
Yeah, I guess.
That part of the internet has gotten better.
Yeah, but that was around in 2008 and 9.
Yeah, but not on the level that it is now.
Guess. You had to pay sometimes.
You didn't have Pornhub or whatever.
You gotta seriously just say, well, porn's better. Is that it? Well, our democracy is dying in front of our faces.
I'm looking for a silver lining here.
Some monster live streamed a massacre on Friday, but porn...
That acts...
The Jonathan Weir Show.
That's happening.
And it's faster. The internet is faster.
Coming up on the Jonathan Weir Show, we're going to play a game. Game tonight is the random word game. Explain how that works, and we'll play it and yell at each other some more in just 5 minutes at 8:35 here on 98.1.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
Yeah. Well, Starrett, thank you again so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Pleasure is
appreciate
mine.
it.
Thank you.
Let's just play a game. The game is the random word game. The way this works is you'll get one of two random words thrown at you. That is not the way I should be phrasing things. Hold on. You'll get two random words thrown at you, and you have to pick one of them and think of as many movie titles, song titles, or TV show titles as you can that involve at least one of those words.
And if you add the word "the" beforehand, usually you can get a lot of titles correct.
No, never happens. And
happens sometimes.
You need to stop claiming that because
sometimes
it has never
that
worked
happens.
in your favor.
It has a couple times.
Not once.
I'm a pro at this game.
I don't remember you playing it.
I got 0. Oh no, I got 1. I got 1.
I don't think you did.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Okay. All right, so I'm exempt. It's interesting though.
You're immune.
Rod is not going to be here this week, so it's Rebecca playing against. Who?
Who?
Well, if I'm here
Whoever's
for 4
running
of the
board
days-
on Friday gets punished.
We should just not tell them.
Just punish them.
All right. Rebecca, you'll start. Your words are, you can choose between one of these two, club and break. As many movie titles, song titles, or TV show titles as you can that involve at least one of the words club or break. Ready? Set. Go.
Breaking Bad.
Good.
Babysitter's Club. Club Med.
All right. Hold on a second.
Club Med is a.
I'm trying to.
That's a tourism company.
Yeah, that's not a movie.
No,
or
it's a
anything.
movie.
What was the movie?
It's,
when was
it's
it out?
Okay. We're going to say Club Med was...
It was a TV movie in 1986.
I was going to say the 80s.
I actually kind of remember it. I don't know how, because I was only like 4, but I kind of remember it. But I didn't think you watched television back then.
Well, I watched whatever was on the 3 stations, or when we rented a VHS player and VHSs, then we would watch the movies over the weekend.
For a TV movie.
Okay, but what if it was on one of the 3 stations that I had?
All right. So you had Breaking Bad.
Uh-huh.
What were the other ones?
Babysitter's Club.
Babysitter's Club. Was that a movie or TV show?
It was a series based off of the books.
Okay, because I know
The
there were books. I
Babysitter's
just
Club.
didn't know that there was ever a TV show. Okay.
Netflix is doing a reboot of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, and then you said Club Med.
Club Med from the 80s.
Well,
Do I have to have watched it to be able to claim that it was one?
But it has to be a real thing.
It is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
3 points.
It's borderline.
3 points.
Would the Breakfast Club have counted for double points on that one?
No, it would have counted for normal points.
Actually, I think I would have given
It's got, you know, it's got break in it.
and club.
And club.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sam, Stevie, it's too bad you didn't get those.
I know,
words.
right?
How did I miss that one?
That's the first thing I thought of.
How did that guy get it? He's only 21. You know what the Breakfast Club is.
Sam phones.
All right, Sam.
Yo.
Your words are judge and round. Think of as many song titles, movie titles, or TV show titles as you can that involve at least one of the words round or judge. Ready? Set. Go.
Judge Judy.
Okay.
Judge Janine.
Oh, man. Actually, it's not a
judge.
show anymore, but fine.
Use the technique.
That it actually worked that time.
I got 3.
Yeah.
I had 3 more in my head before I said Judge Judy, but I can't think of them now.
It's like how racist you have to be to get kept off of Fox News for being too racist.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad. All right, but you got 3.
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
I'm actually surprised that round didn't come up at all.
Yeah, right round.
Like a record, baby. Right.
Is that
round,
the name
round,
of this?
round.
Is the what's
You
the name of
spin
the
me
song?
round?
You
is
spin me
the-
round.
But
okay.
also rat, round and round.
Yeah,
You know.
right. Goes around, comes around.
There you
I'll
go.
tell you why. I hate that band. All right, Will.
Yes, sir.
Your words are flower and notion. Think of as many movie titles,
Oh, my.
TV show titles, or song titles as you can that involve flower or notion. Right? Go.
Fading like a flower.
Okay.
That's all I got. I got a Roxette song, and that's it.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What's the name of the song? I'd like to know when you got the notion.
Rock the Boat.
Is it just Rock the Boat?
Yes, by the Hughes Corporation.
Well, you got one.
I've never known the word notion to appear in any song title or
Other
movie
than
title.
Yeah. No.
And all I've got for that was that one for flower.
All right. Somebody got some random words for me. Rebecca, you got some?
I will have some
Oh,
in
for
just
the
a second.
love of-
You didn't tell me.
I didn't know I'd have to. You're the only one here who's regular enough to know that we would need this for me.
I've got 2.
I don't need to hear about how regular Rebecca is. Thank you.
And I am regular.
That's between
All right, Sam,
her
what are my
and her
words?
doctor.
This is from a creative random word generator, and we have leg and binder. That's the first 2 I got. I'm
My
sorry,
words
man.
were better.
You can't just give me any word.
Ready? Go.
She's got legs.
1.
I Am Legend.
That does not count.
Yes, it does. It does.
Break a
I Am
Leg is a
Legend.
movie.
Legend.
1 point.
I Am Legend.
For Legs by ZZ Top.
I should get points for creativity for I Am Legend.
No! It is a completely
Wait.
different word.
So the song is just called Legs? So Jonathan
Yeah.
didn't even get the title correct?
He said she's got legs.
That's close
Yeah,
enough.
well, you added a few words on there.
I'm not even in competition this week. What do you care?
I don't know. I've added the word the, when it could have been the single word and you
we
didn't give it
gave
to
you
me.
the point for Club Med.
Yeah, you're really not in a place to be complaining about anything right
Shut
now.
it, Will.
Will, phones.
All right, I got 1 point. Will and I, who I would think would be doing the best at this game, you and I, between the two of us, only have 2 points. Both of them have 3 each.
Okay, my turn.
It doesn't help we got terrible words.
True. All right, Rebecca, your words are murder, which you should be well acquainted with, and telephone. Ready? Set. Murder and telephone. As many movie titles, TV show titles, or song titles as you can. Murder, telephone, go.
Murder on the Orient. Murder, She Wrote.
Okay.
Murder for Hire. That's all I got.
The Murder. Actually is a movie.
The Telephone.
By the way, it's Murder on the Orient Express, but I will give you the point.
You know,
I'm not aware of a film.
I abbreviated it to Orient.
What was Murder for Hire? Was that a movie?
Yes, that's a movie.
It sounds familiar, but you know, I don't know.
Look, it's another TV movie. I'm not making this up. It's a Lifetime movie.
I just Googled Murder for Hire, and now I'm worried that I'm on a list. The first thing that comes up is contract killing. I didn't mean to.
Real quick, as an aside, I once knew a guy who requested the services of a hitman and was told by the person who was going to refer him, you know, he's cheap, so he's probably not very good. True story.
You knew this person personally?
Yeah.
They were trying to kill somebody?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some messed up people. All right, Sam Stevie. Your words are liver.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that for the binder thing?
Yeah. Binder
That's not fair.
and leg. Liver. And butterfly. Which actually is not that hard now that I think about it. But go.
Liver and butterfly?
Yeah. You already got your words. There's at least 2 songs.
I was gonna say, I'm sitting here with 2 points in my head right now.
I got one movie.
That awful Crazy Town song, you probably won't know. You're probably blissfully too young to know. There was this terrible song by this god-awful band named Crazy Town called Butterfly.
And
You're my butterfly.
And
Sugar,
still, that
baby.
song.
So I got 1 point because I said the word butterfly.
No, you didn't name the song, though.
That song is still better than the Mariah Carey song, Butterfly.
It's not, but it's equally as bad. And then there's actually a very good Weezer song called Butterfly.
And then the
there's
movie Butterfly
Effect, yeah.
The Butterfly Effect.
All
Butterfly
I could
was
think
not hard
of
at
was
all.
Owl City and Fireflies when you said butterfly.
Yeah. So that's your mistake for listening to bad music.
Yeah. I actually learned that song from a Mac Miller song.
Really?
Yeah,
he
called Don't Mind If
references
I
it in
Do.
or something?
No, it was one of his very, very early songs, and so he took the chorus from that song and rapped the
Yeah,
verses.
I like Mac Miller. And
Great song.
It was one of these guys I did not hear of until he died tragically. And then everybody was talking about him. I was like, these people all suck. I don't like any of these people who were like Ariana Grande was really upset. And I was like, I don't care that she's upset. I'm going to listen to this guy and listen how terrible he is.
Well,
I listened to it and I was like, it's actually pretty good.
The reason she was upset was because they were a thing.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you feel differently if you bump Uglies.
Yeah, but she would be sad for a lot of people. Anyway, Will Sterrett. Your words are reveal.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. Give. Here, I'll change it. Give and stab.
Wow.
Ready?
Ready.
Set.
Go. Give me just a little more time.
Ooh, good.
Give a little bit. I can't give any more. Something's got to give.
Yeah. All right.
4.
Almost catching up with me. Will Sterrett.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, for... how many did you get, Rebecca?
The last one was at just 2, and the one before that was 3. I don't know.
So we're tied
remember.
at 5. You're tied at 5, yeah. Yeah, he caught up with you. He got you. All right. Who's got my words?
Okay, I got your words.
All right.
Boys
Boys.
and stone.
Okay. The Boys are back in town.
1.
Boys, which is a Beatles cover off of... that's all I got.
You were
Oh
too
my
busy
gosh.
explaining it to...
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood.
Oh, yeah. That song.
ELO, Turn to Stone.
Boys in the Hood would count as 2 points because there's a movie and a song.
Oh.
Damn it!
The Jonathan Weir Show.
Good thing I'm exempt. All right, coming up on the Jonathan Weir Show, it's my punishment. I'm going to hand my Twitter account at JONKMBZ over to Rebecca, who is tenting her fingers like Mr. Burns.
Excellent.
And I guess you guys can text in whatever you want her to say on my Twitter account. I'll have to say it. Also, I have to perform a rap that Rebecca wrote for me. That's all coming up.
That is so creepy.
On 98.1. We'll be back at 8:54.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
All right. I don't know where Will's at, but regardless, we need to do... Oh, there he is. We need to do our punishment. I had the lowest amount of points last week, and usually we do the punishment on Friday, but I was not here on Friday. I was sick. So, this is my punishment. I have to recite a rap verse that 2 Beckys in there wrote for me, which is only fair because the last couple of weeks, Rod had to do a rap verse, and then you also had to do a rap verse before that.
And I delivered mine way better than Rod.
I will say that it was surprising how bad he was at it. It was almost like his heart wasn't in it. And
His back wasn't in it. Maybe you put too much back into it.
Maybe that was a problem.
You can do it. Put your back into it.
All right, here we go. So this is my rap song.
Nice beat.
Thank you.
It's like 1994's in the house.
Well, my name is Jonathan, and I'm on the mic. Here's a list of things that I hate that you like. Puppies, hamsters, kittens, and babies. I hate them all, son. I hope they all get rabies. First of all...
Okay, keep going, keep going.
I do not hate babies.
Don't lose your beat.
I'm indifferent towards hamsters. I've got a giant head. Every day it gets bigger. I go through my coast like I go through Snickers. That's funny on 2 levels. All right, one last line here. Hold on. I've only been with one girl my whole life, Katie, and all the janitors at Disney hate me. Yeah. That was solid.
Solid delivery.
Fresh on the mic.
Sam, phones.
Bring, bring.
All right. So then for the rest of the show, I guess you guys get to text in, suggest what you think Rebecca should say on my Twitter account.
Yeah, it is lit right now.
At JON. Please don't say that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
At JONKMBZ on Twitter.
It is lit right now.
I've got like
The
7.
show has been lit
For shizzle.
tonight.
Please stop.
How do you spell faux shizzle?
I'm not going to tell you.
Faux shizzle.
Oh, you spell it REBE.
No.
CCA.
No, letter.
SUCKS.
I want to see what she comes up with as a spelling for
That's actually
faux
a
shizzle.
lot funnier if that is the case.
No, I want to see how that whole thing shakes out.
Faux
shizzle.
She should use the number 4.
Well, now it
and
looks
then
like
shizzle.
fashizzle. It's supposed to be faux shizzle.
You better hurry up with this tweet. You're going to run out of time. You only got a minute left.
It's been tweeted along with the
All right.
I respect Adam Levine as a musician.
Oh my God!
Ringo is my favorite Beatle. The gif of Ringo dancing.
She actually got faux shizzle pretty much right.
Pretty much. What was I missing?
It's not one word.
All right.
It's 2.
Text
Oh,
line
I like this
22980.
one.
What? What did they say?
About to get on a train with Rebecca. All right, here we go.
I like this one. Donald Trump is the greatest president ever, only second to Barack Obama. That'll piss both sides off.
Here's what Jobs should tweet.
I like that.
It's good.
I think she should tweet all the lyrics from the McDonald's rap.
From Mac and Me? Wait,
No, the
what
McDonald's
rap?
rap.
What's the McDonald's rap?
It's the McDonald's drive-thru rap. This guy's in the drive-thru at McDonald's and raps to the lady at the taking the order, and it's pretty funny.
Okay.
I could rap it off the top of my head, but I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to do it?
I mean, I can.
All right. We'll stare at
Sam, phones.
Thanks, bro.
Anytime.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. It's
been fun.
Rebecca, you still tweeting?
Yeah,
Here's me.
about to get on a train with Rebecca. Be right back.
Good night, good night, good night. Happy birthday, Bill. Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Take this, bitch.